here's another example of solving for systems of equations. I like to remember my goal, keep my goal in mind. Any solution to a system of equations is an ordered pair. So I like to have that written down first so I know what I'm working towards. And I'm going to put a box around my original equations so that I don't get those mixed up if you are rewriting them onto your notebook paper. Okay, my step 1, if you're following along from your notes on your success checklist, says pick a variable to solve for. So as I'm looking at these two equations right here, I notice, actually I like this one here on the bottom better, because the x and the y don't have a coefficient in front of them. They don't have a number in front of them. So if I pick those, I'll have an easier time. And you can pick whichever one you want to pick. I just like to pick variables that don't have coefficients in them. So we're going to go with the second equation right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy it, x plus y equals 3. And I'm just going to solve for y because it's positive. Plus x, both sides, and then x plus x is just 0. So then on this side I just have y left, and then I have 3 plus x. Okay, now that I have my y equals, I'm going to go ahead and circle it so it doesn't get lost in the rest of my work. And then I'm going to go to step 3. Step 1 was to pick a variable, and we did. And then step 2, solve for a variable. We did that. Here's my y. And step 3 says substitute into the other equation. So I'm going to take this equation now, and I'm going to write it, and then I'm going to substitute for y. Okay, so I just copied that equation down. If you don't copy it, you'll have a harder time. Okay, please copy it first. Then I can now take this and substitute for y in this equation. So I have negative 3x plus 3, and I like to do open parentheses. Here's the y value. So 3 plus x equals 4. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and distribute and simplify. Since I only have x in this equation, I can now get a number, a value for x. Okay. So negative 3x plus, and I'm going to start with my parentheses here. So 3 times 3, 9. 3 times x is plus 3x equals 4. Okay. Now I can combine these right here, and I see that negative 3x plus 3x is just 0 because it's negative and it's positive. So all I'm going to have left is 9 equals 4. Now this is a false statement. False. So if I was to try to graph this, the lines would never cross each other. So let's double check. If they never cross each other, that means that my lines would be going something like this. They should be parallel. And parallel lines have same slope. So let's solve for y on both of the equations and make sure that that's what's happening. So for this equation, I already solved for y here. So now I'm going to take this equation and solve for y. See if we end up with the same slope. Okay, so negative 3x plus 3y equals 4. Plus 3x on both sides. Then I have 3y equals 3x plus 4. Then I need to divide everything by 3 so I get y by itself. Y equals 3 over 3 is just 1, so x plus 4 thirds. Now look at that. positive x. So look at that. That means positive x and positive x right there. Same slope. My lines must be parallel. So therefore, there's no solution.